Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you've not been here before, my name is Tracy Mayhew and I write contemporary romances set here in the UK and YA fantasy fiction. I've not done one of these videos, what am I reading videos, for a while. If you've looked at any of my recent videos, you'll know why. I've been ill lately and it's been a bit of a struggle coming back to some kind of routine, but I was very eager to make this video for November because I haven't done one of these videos in ages and I'm just kind of finding my stride with reading again, I think. It's been a bit of a difficult one. I can only show you one of the books that I've been reading over the last month in October because my Kindle broke and it's very difficult now to use it. So I'm waiting to buy a new one. Very excited about that, but the books that I'm reading this month are all paperbacks, and probably the rest of for December as well will probably be paperbacks also, so I'm in no rush for a Kindle at the moment, just taking my time with that. So anyway, what have I been reading? So in October, sorry, my head's all over the place at the moment. In October, I was reading Christmas books. If you've been around me for any length of time, if you know me at all, you know that I do start on the Christmas books a little bit earlier than most people. I usually do start in around about the end of October, sort of the middle of October, but this year I did start slightly earlier because I wasn't feeling great. My brain couldn't cope with anything very taxing, so a good, feel-good, happy ever after romance was what I was looking for. So the first book I read, and I will try to leave the picture of the covers of the book somewhere on one of the sides for you so you know what book I'm talking about. So the first book that I read was Snowed In at the Cat Cafe, which was perfect for me as a cat lover. It was lovely to read a book about, I think that was by Rachel Rowlands. I think that's how you say her name, Rachel Rowlands. Yeah, it was a very good book. It was kind of quaint, Lake District village, and in this village there was this cat cafe, and the main guy character in it had just lost his cat, and that actually happened at roughly the same time that I lost my cat, Domino, a few weeks ago. So in ways at times it was quite a difficult read, but it was also comforting for me as well, and it was just a really nice, sweet, heartwarming story. The next story that I read was Sarah Morgan, The Christmas Book Club. I meant to read this book last year, didn't get round to it. So when I found it in my local library this year, I've actually had this since about the end of August. It's been sitting on my bookshelf waiting to be read. But when I started reading Christmas books, I dove straight into this one, and I was meant to be reading it in November, but I quickly ate that book up because it was a really lovely book. Kind of like it had very much Hallmarky vibes. It's set in a little small town in Vermont at an inn. It's called Maple Sugar Inn. It was lovely, and the four main characters, they all have their own problems, their own issues, secrets that they're hiding. You had a friendship group which was made up of Erica, Claudia and Anna, and they all lead very different lives. So you've got Anna, she's a full-time mum. You've got Erica, who is all about career, keeping things, like making sure she stays independent, doesn't rely on anyone else, doesn't want to rely on anyone else. But then she finds out something that kind of blows her world apart and kind of puts her on the back foot, probably for the first time in her life. And then you've got Claudia, she's just found out that her partner's cheated on her with a younger woman, so she's been dealing with that. She just recently lost her job as well, so they're all trying to find their feet about something. And then you've got Hattie, who is the owner of the inn, and she's dealing with her own issues, and it kind of like this inn, the setting brings them all together and they all kind of end up helping each other out, and I thought that was really, really good. It focused very much on friendship, which is what I liked. There is one romance in it, but it wasn't heavy on the romance, so if you're kind of not heavily into romances at Christmas or anything like that, it's a good book for that. It's really good on friendship, so I would definitely recommend that book. The other book that I've read recently is called A Scottish Christmas by Emma Bennett, and I intend to review that book, although she's a hybrid author, but some of her books are independently published, so I thought I would review that book as part of my indie author book club. So I'm not going to say too much about that one here. That will be coming next week as a separate review just about that book, so I'm going to keep you in suspense for that one. If you follow me on Instagram, I will be posting a review on there too, so you can check it out there. Let's move on to the books that I will be reading this month. It will come as no surprise, they're both Christmas books. I was hoping I'd be sort of like trying to read maybe back to my normal reading stride, if you like. I'm reading maybe 3 books this month, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I've stuck to 2, and the first book that I've got is Cressida McLaughlin's The Secret Christmas Bookshop, and this sounds lovely. It sounds very quaint, very Christmassy, very well, Hallmarky vibes really, which is what I love at Christmas. Let me know if you agree with that in the comments. Let me know if you like a good Hallmark romance for Christmas, and we can maybe share our favourites. So the blurb is this. In a village by the sea, where wintry skies bring a dusting of sparkling snow, somebody is opening an unexpected gift. When Sophie receives a surprise package, she's intrigued to find a beautifully bound book inside. Sophie's desperate to discover the mystery sender, and a hunt draws her to the enigmatic Harry. The subject of much gossip since his return from London, Harry keeps himself in his crumbling manor house. They are both about to learn that the best stories can take on a life of their own. So that sounds quite nice. And I've recently read one of her books earlier this year called The Happy Hour, and I really enjoyed that. I've read a few of her books before. She wrote I think it's an 8-book series about Cornwall. The first book I think is called The Cornish Cream Tea Bus, which was really good. So I have high hopes for this one as well, because she's a known and trusted author for me. The next book, which is slightly... I'm currently reading this. I've literally just started. I'm up to page 37, so literally just started it yesterday, I think. And this is a little bit different because it's not a romance, but it is a Christmas book. It is The Christmas Killer by Alex Pine. I've never read... I like crime books, don't get me wrong, but I've never read one at Christmas. But it comes recommended from my dad and my mum, so I am quite intrigued. I got it out of the library. And the blurb, I'll read you the blurb. As the snow begins to fall, the body count begins to climb. D.I. James Walker is ready for a quiet family Christmas in the sleepy village of Kirkby Abbey. But when he opens an early Christmas present left on his doorstep, he soon realises it is no gift. Inside is a gruesome surprise and a promise. 12 days, 12 murders. Not long after, the first body is found, half frozen in the snow. As the blizzards descend, panic spreads through the remote Cumbrian village. There's a killer amongst them, and with 11 more victims to go, anyone could be next. Can James stop the killer before they strike again? And apparently... it's a dark, atmospheric crime novel that will keep you guessing until the very last page for fans of Val McDermid and L.J. Ross. Now, I've not read any L.J. Ross books, but I have read a couple of Val McDermid books, and I do enjoy those books. So, again, another book that I have high hopes for. And yes, it gets, from what I've read, given that I've only read 37 pages, it gets straight into the action as well, so that's good. Yeah, and it's set in the Lake District, so... apparently, Christmas in the Lake District is exactly what I need right now. Whether it's murder or romance, you know. Anyway, so they're my books. They're what I plan to read. If you're not subscribed to this channel, don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Next week, I will bring you another indie author book club review. In the meantime, let me know what you're reading. Are you reading Christmas books like me, or are you steering well clear of the holiday season books? Let me know. And I'll see you next week with a brand new video. See you later.